based on true events back in the years of the 80s, 1985. A ranger, a park ranger, no nonsense woman, what carries a very large handgun.
I didn't know rangers carried guns.
Park rangers are peace officers, which means we can shoot people.
And she doesn't give mercy.
Forest is a dangerous place. And you got a dust to beaver here, Ranger. Yeah, well, I'm working on that.
Get your ass down!
Gang of pubes. Teens, delinquents. You one of those kids caused me a bunch of shit?
You know, it's usually more cowardly on the streets.
What? Empty your pockets. That gang of pubes are dangerous. Call themselves the two champs. They've been attacking hackers.
Taking on the gangs.
They cut them with a knife.
Single-handed.
Watch your back. Pop-art punks pop up out of nowhere. Out of nowhere.
That I'm unfit for the big leagues. I'd have been in Yellowstone by now if it weren't for you. Shit!
Hey, go get the gun. It's in the glove.
I prefer the left gun to others.
She's just one single woman, a ranger, fighting the urban crime in the forest, all on her own, with one gun. She takes on their 1985 gangs. But there is one thing only, and one thing only will do. She has to buy by the rules of the game.
It's luck for luck. It's wrong. They don't.
She's that type of woman who won't lie down and don't take no for an answer. She is the one and only what's taking on the major bad guy, Andrew Thornton, and nothing gets in her way. With enough explosions to last all day, she will blow you away if she could. But she would. But she's just too busy to take on all the bad guys. She is just one woman army to take on the drug cartel. All single-handed. And one gun all she needs. 'Cause she is the ultimate fighting machine. Yes, we're talking the Park Ranger.
We're going to be doing a movie about a true story about Andrew Thornton. But as you might not know who he is, and the movie I'm going to explain it doesn't really mention him. But here's a news report. It's really interesting to find out Andrew Thornton. He's not very good at parachuting.
Cocaine Bear, directed by Elizabeth Banks, is based on a true story. The real Cocaine Bear died in 1985 after ingesting almost 80 pounds of cocaine accidentally dropped in the forest by one Andrew Thornton II. A local expert explains.
He was a narcotics officer for a little while and then practiced law here in Lexington for a little while. So, by a surprise turn of events, ended up getting involved in a drug smuggling operation.
Thornton plunged to his death after his parachute failed to open.
On the way back from a drug run, tossed several pounds of cocaine out of his small private plane, ended up jumping from the plane with...
The 200-pound bear fell victim to one of 3 duffel bags full of cocaine dropped in North Georgia and Knoxville, Tennessee 3 months ago when parachutist and reputed drug smuggler Andrew Thornton plunged to his death. Thornton's parachute failed to open. He had 77 pounds of cocaine strapped on him. GBI agents found a second bag a short time later. They ran across the dead bear in Fannin County last week while looking for the third bag, what they believe to be the last of the Thornton batch.
They probably got an initial rush and perhaps became disoriented and somewhat confused because of the sensation. But cocaine acts very rapidly in the central nervous system and in large quantities depresses the heart. and it's quite likely then that the bear had difficulty breathing and difficulty maintaining his heart rate and essentially died slowly.
The medical examiner says the bear had been dead for at least 6 weeks. GBI agents recovered none of the cocaine. They say it could have been blown away by the wind or it simply dissolved. One thing's for sure, the bear did not eat 75 pounds of the stuff. Patricia Hunt, 11 Alive News.
FBI, open up! So obviously, you saw that news report, and obviously, yeah, it's a very big hint about a very, very popular movie. Well, sort of a popular movie. Yeah, it's based on a true story, and well, they do comment about the news again about reliving back in 1985, as it said, yes. But yeah, there's a movie, and we all know what I'm going to say. Yes, it's about a bear. Yes, you know, Pablo Escobar bear or something. Yeah, it's been named after a famous, drug baron and all that lot. Yeah, they're better explaining the history. So let's listen to it.
The red eyes may give it away. This stuffed bear's life was anything but normal.
He ate a ton of drugs that took his life but made him a legend. The tale of Kentucky's cocaine bear, now headed to the big screen.
Thank you for calling Kentucky for Kentucky.
This big warehouse in the heart of Lexington,
We call this place the Fun Mall.
is a museum
We've got a lot of, oddities in here.
of weird. A giant statue of lawyer on the run turned con, Eric Kahn.
Those mannequins lived on top of his billboards that ran all through eastern Kentucky.
Derby hats your girl would never wear.
It's like 2 buckets of chicken with a taxidermied, rooster in the top wearing a derby hat.
And these are chicken bone earrings. Think the boss man will let me anchor the news with these things on? A lot to look at, but one creature here is considered the Fun Mall's mascot.
He's just this legend.
You don't have to be a horse, apparently, to be a Lexington legend. Prepare to say roar. That snout and those teeth belong to Pablo Escobar.
Just party too hard. Eyes are all red, bloodshot.
The cocaine bear.
The whole story behind him is just crazy. It's wild.
It dates back to 1985.
Andrew Thornton, who was smuggling the drugs, lived here and grew up here.
The narcotics officer turned lawyer turned drug smuggler was aboard a plane running cocaine from Colombia.
He actually takes all of his drugs with him and he jumps out. He actually lands in front of this house. Poor thing. Dies on impact.
His bag of drugs ended up in the Chattahoochee Forest, where the cocaine bear found him.
Maybe he was hungry for berries or perhaps fish, but he found the stash and had himself a final meal.
He died of renal failure, heart failure, just everything under the sun.
Just like a regular death, they went in and did an autopsy.
And the coroner who conducted it knew a guy who stuffed bears. The cocaine bear somehow ended up at Waylon Jennings' place. I've always been crazy! Yes, that Waylon Jennings. And then in Vegas.
We had a friend that we kind of enlisted to help us track it down.
Called him lucky. The guys at the Lexington Fun Mall brought Pablo back to the hometown of the man who made him the cocaine bear.
I can type in cocaine and 21 products come up.
Today his likeness or bareness is sold on shirts.
We've done Cokie the Bear.
Like Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
And on buttons and books and blow globes. You heard me. Instead of the snow, it's cocaine.
Snow, it's raining cocaine on him. I find myself playing with it all the time. I'm like,
This story making you pause? Oh, there's more. According to Deadline, a movie is in the works.
It's such a good story.
Maybe he'll be able to walk the red carpet one day.
You could just wheel the cocaine bear right in there.
Yeah.
Just another Kentucky star to add to the Walk of Fame. Jennifer Lawrence, Johnny Depp, cocaine bear. Sure. And remember,
Don't do drugs or you'll end up dead and maybe stuffed like poor cocaine bear.
get that Cocaine Bear Swag is calling her name. We have a link to the site where you can buy it on WDRB.com. They actually gave me one of those blow globes
Okay.
to bring back to the newsroom. So that thing is sitting on my desk. People walk by, they're like, what is that?
There's a story behind that.
There is. The story of the Cocaine Bear. Now, you know the
love
legend.
it. You did a great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Val. That'll do it for the news at 11:30 today.
The news at noon starts right now.
So you got another actor, you know, got O'Shea O. Jackson Jr., you know, playing a part. So you've got Han Solo in this, or not Harrison Ford, no, not to be confused with. So you got actor Ray Liotta, right? He's more famous for being on Grand Theft Auto with his voice, but there's a film called Goodfellas, you know, that's based on a true story. So you can gather that, you know, this actor, you know, he's out there again wanting to star in another true story, and yeah, he's in Cocaine Bear, and obviously, yeah. So, how will the movie go? So the movie starts and we all get the typical credits. Obviously, you know, it's a movie, and but it's a homage to Andrew Thornton and how we all gonna remember him by, not of his tragic death, but it does happen in the movie, but in a odd, funny way. I mean, the guy fell to his death and obviously landed in some poor old gentleman what was suffering terrible with Alzheimer's, right? So he was in this routine. Oh, he'd get that disturbed because he had a dead body on his drive with a parachute and mounds of cocaine, bulletproof vest, night vision goggles. But the movie will establish on one subject, you know, it's based on his loafers. Yeah. So we don't actually know what really happened. A lot of people speculate that he banged his head on the tail, you know, aircraft or something. Now, when this actual event did happen, he did have somebody else with him, and obviously this guy was let off because obviously, you know, he was totally oblivious or whatever. But anyhow, the guy wasn't a suspect. But Andrew Thornton, well, big villain, and but we're going to remember him doing this. Yeah, so homage to the guy. So the movie gets going that way straight away with these hikers talking about, you know, naming their kids what they haven't got.
Boy's name.
Texas.
Kidding me? Texas is like a state.
So yeah, we have these hikers talking about, well, you know, well, the lady is actually saying she's not happy to have her brother-in-law or future brother-in-law singing at their wedding, and well, they have a bit of a lover's tiff domestic. But they get to their review, and obviously we've still got credits coming on and names and stuff, and then straight away we meet our, you know, the main title of the name is the Cocaine Bear, we presume, because straight away we see this bear acting very bizarre. Or is it nature that bears rub themselves against trees? Yes, they do. But do they headbutt at the trees? Haha, don't know. Well, I don't. I'm not a bear expert. But I get educated by this movie, technically. Meaning the guy actually says, if it's black, you fight back. If it's brown, you lie down. I've been told playing dead with a bear isn't a good idea because they'll still eat you and stuff, but you know, I'm hoping I will never get in that situation. The only closest I'll get to that is with my teddy bear, but you know, they're quite vicious as well. But obviously back in our days, we, you know, being British and that, we had Paddington Bear and you know, we had Winnie Pooh and you know, many famous bears, Yogi Bear, I mean, but yeah, this movie is focusing on true nature, about real bears, even it's a CGI bear, as we all can gather by this, with chase scene and stuff. Yes, yeah, that happens. So yeah, let's sense that, you know. So yeah, the movie gets on by showing you typical 80s things about drugs.
This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs.
It isn't glamorous or cool or kid stuff.
The thrill can kill.
Smoking crack is like putting a gun in your mouth and pulling the trigger.
Seen all these bits and yes, actual footage and stuff and that, and yeah, you get the police detective talking to a young officer, and he mentions Andrew Thornton's full name, but doesn't explain the C stands for. And they're talking about certain breed of dog, and you get this emotional bit that talk about a dog, you know, and he gets in his car and he's got this dog with him, you know, so yeah. Now it moves on because, you know, a lot of people may criticise the editing of this movie because you know, because they're not used to it maybe, because, you know, if they were in the UK and they watch, you know, these bleeding soaps, you know, like Emmerdale and Corrie and EastEnders and Hollyoaks or something, you know, it's all pieced and it's all chopped up and then mixed together, and they play it with different characters, and unfortunately this movie will do this. It goes on to one person onto another. So we get our main guys, and yeah, Ray, our actor, is looking after his grandson, because obviously there has been sad news that, you know,
and he quit. So he's the reason why he quit. She's not here anymore. The sooner he moves on.
So you can gather his daughter-in-law died, leaving his son behind, you know, behind, mourning, and they slowly discuss a lot about, you know, but business is business or whatever. So we, as I said, the movie jumps, and we get this mum coming into her daughter's room, and it's more or less discussion about, you know, painting a waterfall. I mean, do we think of, you know, graffiti in it and spraying stuff all over it, a waterfall, vandalism with mother or something. I don't get it, but it was the 80s, and maybe it was a fancy thing to do, to paint waterfalls. But the mum's got other ideas. Yeah, watch her maybe boyfriend, but it seems like the daughter is twigged that she's more or less doing overtime just to stay longer with this guy, and okay. So we are at a bar with Han Solo, looking at a bowl of plain pasta, and the conversation is about, obviously, you know, his tattoo. He's got the tattoo named John.
They spelled her name right. It says John. It says John. Her name is fucking John. Look.
So, yeah, as he, like he says, he's got to wait 7 days. So obviously this old man picks up when they notice something, when they mention Andrew Thornton again on the news, and because that will come in later on. So we get to these two kids. Now we've seen this young girl already with her mother, but it seems like her little friend with this you know, wrestling belt, and obviously proper conversation. At least, you know, this kid wants to use the toilet, and he's not allowed, so he has to pee outside.
Can I use the toilet? I gotta go pee. Go outside.
And he does come out with this comment about being bossy.
Why do I skip school with you? You're bossier than the teachers.
Because of skipping school. So now we're back to the police inspector, what has had a good tip-off, but at first he's talking about whatever this 80s thing was. You order a dog, and obviously you wanted a Labrador, and to play fetch with, and well, it's got that. So he asks that young lass again, you know, and she's had a dog, and he's more or less twisted it, you know, thinking, you know, she's good with dogs. But at first when you were explaining this, she was thinking, he was asking her out, or what she thought she was.
You got Elena's buddy back?
It's meant to be funny. So, we get to, like, because it's like a kids movie really, because then we get back to, you know, these two kids again, and they're discussing about playing hooky off school, and we gather the young lad, his dad's not bothered if he skips school or whatever, but obviously the young girl, obviously, her mum must be really serious, because she gets home, you know, has a drink of wine with ice, and has a shower or something maybe, sits relaxing, and then we get a jump scare. Yeah, the phone rings, and it's the school saying that her daughter's not been there, and yeah, so she rings the daughter's father, and straight away we get toilet. You know, people use the lavatory over there, you know, in America, I gather. He's in the bathroom again, you know. Well, hear it for yourself.
Every time I call, he's in the bathroom. What the hell is wrong with him?
So we jump on another scene where we meet the park ranger, and she's getting herself dolled up, you know, with lipstick and expensive perfume. We already know this because there's a young man robbing, stealing, whatever, but she's onto him as he like, empty your pockets.
Empty your pockets. Is that perfume?
He distracts her by mentioning the perfume.
Smells expensive. It smells really nice.
But it seems like she's been waiting for someone to turn up, and turns up with that, and first thing he notices, he can smell cigarette smoke, and she blames this young man, you know. I mean, she did offer him a sucker, but he wanted the green one, but no, because he likes green ones, and she gave him a nice red one, and you know, he stuck with that.
I like the green one. This is the red one.
Comedy. It might be funny.
Yes, ma'am.
You got a dusty beaver here, Ranger.
Yeah, well, I'm working on that.
So we do get a funny joke about, you know, the ranger talking about, you know, working on a beaver and that, but that was funny, I suppose. Now, we move on to the children, and we can gather the young lad lives with her dad or whatever, because he hasn't made him any lunch, and he's eating all snacks and everything, and but obviously there's been toilet humour, maybe mentioning that there's a joke here where he's saying he's marking his territory, and she thinks he's having it, you know,
No, don't shit out here!
yeah, one of them in the forest, and yeah, but yeah, what it is the movie goes on to, you know, because it's based in the 80s, and it's claiming that everyone does cocaine, and they find cocaine, the young girl, and she knows what it is, and the young lad says he takes it with this guy Fox or something, and you know, takes it after church and that.
After church. Fuck does not do cocaine after church. Not
And
you know, it's usually more powdery.
well, it tells how to take it is to eat it. As we all know with the true story about the real bear that it consumed quite a amount, and it died. So we got in the movie these two kids literally trying to eat it, and lucky enough they don't get affected by it because obviously, you know, they spit it out. But we hear noises, and yeah, you can gather when a bag of cocaine's been ripped up, and the cocaine bear is not far behind, or literally is behind, and they turn around and, you know, typical style, the bear sneezes cocaine at them, and they run and flee. So we get a very emotional scene here. I mean, obviously it's playing music, and yes, you know, little Han Solo's very sad because he's reminiscing about, you know, his loss, and simply explains, well, it's sad. Obviously, we reference, you know, drug dealer. I mean, the conversations were very simple. He's very emotionally upset, and sort of blames the father for giving his, you know, his wife cancer.
No, Joni died of cancer.
I know. Maybe he gave her the cancer.
You can't give no one cancer.
Yes, you can, with stress.
Stress. I'm not a doctor, but so the park ranger is interested in getting her beaver, you know, polished or whatever, but obviously she's pursuing him. But obviously the mother of the young daughter turns up and actually wants help of directions where Blood Mountain is, and obviously, you know,
Please point me in the direction of Blood Mountain.
Where they are.
This is Blood Mountain.
And yeah. But as you can tell, with the ranger, she doesn't want her actually there.
Damsel in distress here.
Nothing can
I mean, at this humble beginning where she mentions about a child missing, she was very sarcastic.
My daughter, you lost your daughter in the park. Hiker's under 16, must be accompanied by an adult.
Yeah. Yeah. It's meant to be funny, this, though.
Do you mind if I tag along?
But we get, when they actually go out adventuring to the waterfalls, because obviously, you know, he said they're going there, so, you know, we get this story about the park ranger, why she carries a gun, maybe.
Which means we can shoot people.
There's a set of youths out there robbing hikers or people, and they've cut someone.
They cut them with a knife.
Well, that doesn't really matter, because obviously we're going to get introduced to him very quick. Because one thing about this movie, people actually have bowels and bladders and stuff in this movie. They actually use the toilets. And our drug dealing guy uses the bathroom. And then we get this scene.
This is a joke?
So the muggers are in the bathroom and they're going to mug him, and obviously they do ask him to empty his pockets, and he's very polite to give them the finger. So a big fight happens. Now this is the bit where you may want to pay attention, is when does our drug dealer get physically stabbed? Because if you really pay attention to the fight, if you see the movie, examine the fight. So I was like thinking, when did the knife go in? So, well, yeah, it's another moment where, you know, it's been stabbed. So we go to the park ranger trying to get rid of this mother, because, you know, she's very adamant that she wants to go to the waterfalls, obviously, and, you know, the park ranger wants to go the long way, and obviously yeah, like she says, she's a distraction.
I told you she shouldn't have gone with us. Just distracting you completely.
She can hear
I
you.
wanted up to see the sun.
Oh yeah, the guy comes in wondering what he's doing, because he's been in the bathroom for a long time. Obviously he's cleaning his wounds. He's managed to get his hand round and get that knife out somehow, but you know, it's a comedy again, I keep saying. But yeah, he discovers the teenagers, and so what, they did attack him, but then, oh dear, he finds a block of cocaine on him. So they wake one of them up by throwing a bucket of water on him and interrogate him.
Where did you find this? Wake up! Where'd you find this? Oh.
So it's the rest of the drugs are on a gazebo, so they're going to head out and look for this stash of cocaine. So yeah,
Attacking innocent people for no reason.
so they're on their merry way, but obviously, the teenager, he's
Keep a real coat out.
so he gets his shirt back.
Let's go.
You might have blood on it, but yeah, okay. He's having a conversation with him, saying that, yeah, I would be peeved off if somebody stabbed me, but he was claiming it wasn't him. But we don't actually know which one did stab him. But it was him what first tried to start with a knife. So our next scene happens where we find out the young lad, he's definitely called Henry, because he's hiding up a tree. Obviously the park ranger and all them lot are moaning about rubbish being left and all that lot, but lucky enough that, Henry wasn't that far, hiding up a tree. And they have a discussion about, there's a bear. And wildlife expert mentions, well, what did you do? Have you bivouacked it or whatever, and Henry replies it's something wrong with it by, swearing. But yes, as we all know, the audience, watching the movie, we know the bear's been taking substance, but park ranger don't know this, and wildlife expert, well, it doesn't matter, because they're gonna get immediately attacked, and they do. So there's a moment where the park ranger starts opening fire with a gun and shooting at movement, swears blind that she sees the bear, but the bear's behind her. So yeah, she gets mauled, and this is what happens to her ass, and she casually walks away from the situation. The wildlife expert runs up a tree to join Henry, separate trees, and they have this conversation about bears.
You're safe. Bears can't climb trees.
Of course they can.
So we're left with the mother, who has a lovely tense moment hiding behind a tree where she's more or less going to look, and this happens. Scary moment. Henry gets attacked by the bear. It's climbing up the tree to get Henry, and Henry tries to fight the bear off, but lucky enough the bear sniffs cocaine and immediately sprints out of that tree onto this tree, and victim number 2, is it? Yeah, by the... yeah, as you can gather, you know, he falls out of the tree and you know, dead. Yeah, so Henry's going to mention about his, you know, his trauma, that he's going to be emotionally scarred by this. But Dee Dee's mum wants to know where's the daughter. Where is she? I mean, has she been killed by the bear? Where is she? As far as we know, well, you know, she should be being eaten or something, but, you know, well, we'll have to see, you know, because, you know.
I'd love to not remember that, but it kind of seems like the thing that stays with the man forever.
So we get on to our next action scene as the park ranger gets back just to find out that, you know, them little pesty, you know, thieving little, you know, muggers, you know, are in there, you know, well, they've just robbed the place and, you know, obviously they've phoned themselves an ambulance because they're suffering with a concussion and all that lot. But don't worry, that park ranger's going to give them more than a, you know, concussion. Well, yeah. So,
I'm a park ranger. I'm not dumb.
She explains that,
I can't,
you know,
keep my park safe.
We all know what the bear did, but they think she's talking about, you know,
that I'm unfit for the big,
our drug dealer. So, you know, so when somebody's at the door, we're all presuming who's going to be at the door, and obviously it's the friendly bear. And then to censor this bit, because obviously, you know, he's got a concussion, but it's uncleared.
What the fuck?
So now we've got this tense moment that the bear could be on the roof. We hear creaks, a bit of dust from the chimney. But don't worry, a paw comes through and gets the other one. That one what likes green suckers. Aye, yes. And then we move on to the next scene. So we get to see our drug dealer and he's getting his trainers all damaged and all that lot, trying to play this guessing game, and you know, he's got a clue that it's the size of a bread box or whatever, but we're not bothered about that. The you know, police officer turns up at the you know, here, obviously the ranger station, and things just seem a little bit odd. Obviously, you know, well, he's a detective, and all we see in this movie is him disposing you know, his litter. And but when you get a scary moment with a hand and you see the blood on the window, but nothing happens. Then it moves on to, you know.
The hell you looking at shooting me? Took a bat out of my hand.
So it comes down to Henry guiding, well, Dee Dee's mum to finding Dee Dee, and they discover blood on a rock. But it's okay. She's a nurse. She knows what it is.
Paint. This is red paint.
It's paint. So it was Dee Dee wanted to vandalise a waterfall with paint. So it's got to be Dee Dee, isn't it? She wanted to paint a waterfall.
Yeah, I just want to paint the waterfall. We were supposed to go paint the waterfall this weekend.
So Henry talks
I've never known cocaine.
intellectually about taking cocaine. As we know in the movie, it sort of encourages kids to eat cocaine. But as we all know in the true story about that bear what ate cocaine, it died. So while we're seeing the film of a couple of kids eating cocaine, well, lucky enough they spat it out, And has Henry got some withdrawn syndromes because of that? Because he explains this.
Just wondering if it has long-term side effects. For the bear, of course. If it just did a little bit.
Well, it could create a habit for the bear.
What if they never want to do it again?
I mean, the mother does get in for sloth.
But Mama Bear and Papa Bear will be very angry because drugs, especially cocaine, are very, very bad.
What if they would never find out?
Oh, Henry.
So the mother gets intellectual about knowing that every parent will know what your kiddie winkies have been up to. Wow.
Oh, what the hell? Oh.
So the next scene is going to be one of the best bits of the movie, actually, was. But even it's all CGI, but it was entertaining. So you get a couple of paramedics turning up in the ambulance, and they can't get through the door. Obviously, there's a, dead body behind the door, but yeah, with a gunshot. They've been called out for a concussion.
You said they called it a concussion! You said they called it a concussion! You said they called it a concussion!
And then they wander into a murder scene. Now, I'm not a paramedic, obviously, but I don't know how these situations work out in America. I'm just a simple Yorkshire person in the UK. So, yeah. So, obviously the paramedic finds the park ranger. She's holding a gun, and this is a little bit where, get confused. Now, she looks like she's more injured, maybe, because she's lying down, the park ranger, and somehow the other paramedic sees blood, wanders into this, it looks like a closet or something, all cleaning material and all that on a dead body, obviously, and a great big bear. And I was wondering, how did the bear get in there? And, I suppose bears know how to shut doors, but not open them. So, the paramedic has slowly backed away, leaving the bear as it is. Other paramedic doesn't know what's going on, but lucky enough our park ranger shouts down the stethoscope, bear. And then the bear comes bursting through the door, trapping the paramedic. And he's left there, and you're thinking the bear's going to chew his face off and something, but lucky enough, you can see the option what he's going to go for. He's going to go for the switchblade knife or whatever, or the medical bag. Obviously, we all know that the bags of cocaine are all in these red bags, so obviously us audience grasp what happens when he hits the bear with the bag. The bear thinks it's more cocaine, so releasing the dog. Obviously, our paramedic and the park ranger are already in the ambulance, and the park ranger's been telling the other paramedic to leave him, leave him to his mercy, but they haven't, and they wait for him, and he finally gets in the ambulance, and they're driving off, and you'd be thinking that's it, until the park ranger explains, very quickly, get out of the way. Why? Because you got the bear chasing him, and then you get the Matrix bear or something, because you get this great big, CGI, but obviously, and then you get a CGI crash, and I should be, censoring this because there's blood and gore and bears chewing people. and there's gunfire outside and stuff, and that's the problem. Yeah, but that's one of the most best scenes in the movie. Actually, was that, and then it moves on to a dimmer, slower pace of the film. So now we're getting a beautiful, lovely scene about talking about, well, Mum's buying you a lizard and calling it a mini dinosaur, and it's very emotional scene. But yes, we find out about our little mugger with talking about his friends Rocky and Joe, that they're going to go to New York, and obviously he doesn't know that they've been maliciously mauled to death by a cocaine bear. But yeah, but it's very heartwarming and very, obviously there's cuddling and so they finally get to the gazebo because we've had all that motion stuff, haven't we? Yeah. So yeah, we're seeing the gazebo and we see the police detective there. Nick Cashry sits down, looks up and sees a bag. And then we get a shot of a car boot and somebody taking a rifle out. But who is that person? We don't know yet. So we're back to the gazebo. And our two drug dealers and, youth talks about emotional things about, about lizards being good listeners and that has, well, they're there. And obviously there's a slight problem, because the cocaine is not there. But lucky enough, or for the teenager I would say, that the police inspector reveals himself, and then he has a problem. He can't get down from the gazebo. So there's a standoff with the bag of cocaine and with three men, but one's armed with a gun. And lucky enough, the police officer shoots the guy's fingers off, and he manages to shoot them off, and you get the idea. He managed to shoot two of his fingers what are not attached, and sorry, I suppose you can give the finger or whatever, but not very good at explaining, am I? But yeah, is it meant to be funny? It's meant to be funny, I think. So,
how do you take those two fingers off?
Our drug dealer guy managed to say, sod it, goes for the gun, and he hides under the gazebo having a standoff. Now, even his friend has collected his fingers, but there's a standoff. He's hiding under the gazebo, but then
You sure this is the way? Pretty sure.
But I'm jumping ahead first. We could have mentioned about Dee Dee and, Henry and, Dee Dee's mum, because they're venturing across the river as they find that Dee Dee has been removing a jumper to give them clues. She must have run out of paint. And then we finally see where Dee Dee is. She's in a cave, and she looks like she's got a leg injury.
Smart girl.
Things start getting serious now at the gazebo standoff. as they're all getting interrupted.
You two, on your belly.
But before that happens, we do have intellectual speech from the police officer talking about more toilet. Yeah, you know, you go to prison, you can't have privacy. You know, you have to poo in front of people, and well, he's best explaining it, isn't he?
So get ready for 10 to 15 years of shitting in front of your cellmate at supervised shower time. I can't go to jail.
Not going to jail.
So yeah, it's logical, but the thing is though, it's a movie about a bear and the bear turns up. Now then, as we all know about the news reports that we know about bear being male. So this bear comes wandering in, totally ignores the guy with his missing fingers, and casually gets behind Han Solo, and you'll be thinking, is this a male bear? Don't worry, it jumps onto a next scene. So our next scene is obviously, as you know, because it jumps, and got Henry, you know, but yeah, they find that Ica from the beginning of the movie, and you know, somehow he must have witnessed the bear taking Dee Dee, and he's going to show him where she's going to be. So back to the incident with the bear. And this is where part of the movie is a little bit very confusing for me, because I'm not a bear expert, I'm very sorry. You know, I saw the bear get on top of this guy, right? As we all know, yeah. And they actually explains that what sex is the bear, and he says this.
The bear is a girl.
Oh, how do you know that?
Because its vagina is on my ear. Because its vagina is on my ear.
So, I'm not too sure how bears work, but I don't think the vagina will be all the way up there, but, you know, I'm not a bear expert. So, okay. So, finally, something happens again. The bear wakes up when a block of cocaine drops on the floor, and you get this.